Okay, good evening and welcome. I call the City Council Committee of the Whole meeting for Wednesday, November 5th, 2025 to order. This time we'll have a moment of silence for you to think about whatever it is you'd like to think about. Thank you, everyone. If you please stand and join Alderman Joktion in leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
To the flag of the United States of America,
the United States,
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
indivisible,
and justice for all.
liberty, justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Mr. Krupp, if you'd call the roll, please.
Ardon.
Here.
Kelly.
Here.
McGinnis.
Here.
Reinhardt.
Present.
Grip.
Here.
Newton.
Here.
Lynch.
Here.
T-Dunn.
Here.
Jobson.
Here.
And Burkholder.
Here.
10 present, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. So again, good evening and welcome everyone as we begin the meeting of the City Council Committee of the Whole. I'd like to welcome everybody in attendance and especially those who are viewing the meeting on any particular electronic device. We respectfully welcome your comments and opinions, but please keep in mind that as you share your thoughts, you're sharing them with your fellow Davenporters and anybody throughout the region. We're certainly happy you're participating in city government, but ask that your participation please reflect the common desire we all share to make Davenport a better place. I know there'll be pictures or whatever, but if you'd be kind enough to put the phone on silent, simply that it doesn't get in the way of anybody talking. If you want to address the council on any specific item, please come to the podium. The microphone's above you. Love to know your name, ward, or address, and if you're not from here, we'd love to know where you're from. Please address the council as a body and not to any individual. We'll be respectful of you. Please be respectful of us. Thank you. City Administrator, welcome, Mr. Gleason. Thank you for taking your time and giving your time to the City of Davenport. At your first meeting, do you have anything for us tonight?
Yes, sir, I do. Mayor and council and to the community, I was going to call up, if I may, Brian Schatt, the city engineer, talk about the downtown street conversion. Brian? And then I had 2 additional comments after he's done.
We've talked about this a lot through the years. Tomorrow's the day, 5 a.m. We will officially convert to two-way from Marquette to River Drive. I want to thank PD. They will have officers downtown through the morning and afternoon peak hours to help everything out. You'll also see a plethora of both city workers and the contractors just moving through the area, making sure everything's set up and everything's running smooth. To everyone in chambers here, as well as anyone tuning in, always a reminder, if you want to sign up for the alerts on our website, it's about 1/3 of the way down. I already received mine for the conversion here tomorrow, and then you'll also receive for emergency weather alerts, city services, or items like that. A little reminder of how this is going to work for everyone. As you come in eastbound on 3rd Street, once you hit Taylor, we'll have a lane drop off. And then further on to Marquette, we'll start corralling everyone so that we'll have that one lane eastbound. Anyone else will be turning northbound on Marquette. There will be a lot of signage. You will not be able to miss this. Both the end of the one-way as well as coming the other direction, do not enter, and additional two-way signage. So we've tried to put up as much as we can to really make this very evident. And here later this evening, you'll see the pavement markings as well. We will be working through the evening, so you'll still see a lot of activity down through to 3 a.m. in the morning. 3rd Street, pretty straightforward. We'll still have 2 lanes heading eastbound. Both will be able to go northbound on 67, or else you will have a turn lane southbound. And this is just a representative sample of what you'll see downtown. 1 lane each direction, center turn lane, parking on both sides. You will not see any bike lanes east of Marquette, and additional signage and signals down through the downtown area. There were 4 signals that were removed. Scott and Ripley will become two-way stops, north and south. 3rd will have the right-of-way. And then finally, there will be 4-way stops at Pershing and Iowa. These were chosen this way because traffic engineering spent a lot of time going through the counts, how those movements were, and this is where we ended up for warrants. Just as a reminder, traffic is fluid. So as we move forward, just like we do through the rest of the city, we'll keep an eye on things and adjust as we need to. Kyle Carter and the rest down at DDP did a great job working with us, working with the businesses, trying to find out what we actually need and what the businesses need for loading zones. These will all be clearly marked. We still have the same amount of parking downtown. And as a reminder, we do have the ramps as well. Nothing's changing there. And bus stops will remain the same right now as well. So moving forward, we'll keep an eye on that as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Brian. Two additional comments, just for the community. Veterans Day is next Tuesday. City Hall offices will be closed. And then the final comment with, and this is more so for the community, with the election last night, what happens next? The city team, city staff, make very quick work of reaching out to the newly elected and start the onboarding process. So there's training dates and other events that are going to be set up so that we have an effective, highly efficient council that's ready to do the business of the city, that first meeting in January. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, we have 3 public hearings this evening, 1 under community development and 2 under public works. First one's community development. Alderman Grip and Alderman Reiners will discuss. Alderman Grip, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I open the public hearing for case ORD 25-02, being the request of the City of Davenport to amend Title 17 entitled Zoning of the Municipal Code of Davenport, Iowa regarding solar farms as the principal use and freestanding solar panels as an accessory use. Is there anyone from the public here to comment on this public hearing? Seeing no one, I move to close the public hearing. There's a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed?
Aye.
This public hearing has been closed. Back to you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Grip. Next, 2 public hearings are under public works. Alderman Rick Dunn, Alderman Kelly will discuss. Alderman Rick Dunn, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Open the public hearing on the plan, specification, form of contract, and estimated cost for the modern Woodland Park levee repair project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this public hearing? Seeing none, I move to close the public hearing. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Say
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. This public hearing is closed. I open the second public hearing on the plan, specification, form of contract, and estimated cost for the Annie Whitmire Complex of Utilities relocation junior theater project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this public hearing? Seeing none, I move to close the public hearing. Second. With a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. This public hearing is closed, and back to you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Rick Dunn. Next, we have 1 presentation. As I hope everybody's aware, we have a new fire chief. We certainly appreciated the time that Chief Carlson gave to the city of Davenport, and we've talked about that many times. But today we're officially swearing in Jeff Vanderweer to be our new fire chief. So, sir, if you'd be kind enough to meet me at the podium.
I state your name.
I, Jeff Vanderweer,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially,
and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of the fire chief
discharge all the duties of the fire chief
for the City of Davenport,
for the City of Davenport,
County of Scott,
County of Scott,
State of Iowa,
State of Iowa,
as now or hereafter
as now and hereafter
required by law.
required by law.
Thank you for being our fire chief.
Thank you.
It's up to you.
Thank you, sir. All right, any petitions, communications from any council folks? Alderman Joseph.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. A few things here. First, welcome to our interim city administrator, Mr. Gleason. Thank you. It's been a pleasure, just the brief conversations we've had. Looking forward to having a few more, and then saw you ducked out, but welcome to Chief Vanderweer. Some great additions, and definitely got some big shoes to fill there, but it sounds confident, and things will go well. Over the past couple of months, I had really thought about, really contemplating about what I wanted to say. I had, kind of this moment in my head, and I've pared it down big time because a lot of my comments weren't going to be productive for the city of Davenport. So I want to just say this first: congratulations on the results of the election last night to everybody. Right? Unfortunately, in things, there's got to be winners, there's got to be losers, and for everybody that worked hard, it felt like it was a pretty clean campaign all around, all the races. So that was great. We see a couple of the newly electeds in the office. Look forward to working with you. Look forward to reaching out soon and sitting down and just having a little conversation, and we'll get to work. So you'll feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose, and we've all been there, and hopefully we can help you through that. And with that, I want to just kind of ask the public for a little grace. After 2023, the election of 2023, I felt like there was this huge rift that just pulled this council apart, and we have, I think, done a pretty darn good job of kind of mending some things and kind of working more cohesively here over the last 6-9 months. But that was a pain, and I just asked for the grace of the public that as the new council comes on board at the new year, that we're allowed to develop that relationship and to work forward with the new mayor and new city administrator and all that. So I'm going to leave it at that. And then the last thing I just want to say, and I will get the particulars out here as I talk to people, I will be donating my salary as a member of the city council for the next term. So I got to pay Uncle Sam first and all that, but I will be donating that, and something that I'm going to look to hopefully help charity within Davenport that serves solely Davenport people. So again, more on that, but I just wanted to throw that one out there. So thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Grimm?
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that last week, Alderman Tim Dunn and I attended the groundbreaking for a new senior affordable living place called Timber Ridge in the 2nd Ward. And it was a really good groundbreaking ceremony. And a couple of things, 3 things really stuck out to me. The first is that affordable housing doesn't just happen by accident. When we did the groundbreaking, the state of Iowa was there. There were a bunch of lenders there, the city of Davenport, the developer, and it took a lot of people to get that project done. The second thing is I was really impressed with the company Woda Cooper, who is putting the affordable housing in, and their commitment to a long-term project. So their intent is they do not sell their affordable housing units. A lot of places do. They keep theirs, and their aim is that after 15 years, the housing looks the same as it did when it was built. And I thought that was really impressive to hear their president say that. And then the third thing was they all had nothing but praise to say about our community development professionals in our department, and said that our staff did an excellent job. And so that was good to hear. And we need more affordable housing, but it doesn't just happen. It takes a concerted effort. And last week was a good day to recognize some of the work that we've done. And it's good to have it in the 2nd Ward. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderwoman Newton.
Thank you, Mayor. I was just going to echo the mayor's comments and my colleagues' comments in welcoming our new interim city administrator, Gleason. Very much look forward to working with you, and I look forward to working with the newly elected council come January. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? So I'll just draw attention. You heard city administrator say next Tuesday, city services are closed because it's Veterans Day. So certainly Davenport is one of the cities, not very many do this, but have a parade. And most of the veteran organizations participate. I tell when I was teaching high school at Central, it's a pretty cool thing to do because you're going to see a lot of different folks. There's veterans in wheelchairs, there's veterans that are severely disabled, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I just ask, if you have the ability, and if the weather's nice, that you could come and, maybe just take a moment, it starts at 10, and stand on the sideline there, and just say thank you. It is appreciated hugely. And Davenport, again, is one of the very rare cities that does this. But it means a lot to the people that are walking and riding. Many are riding, many are handicapped. And historically, we've had a World War II veteran, at least, certainly Korea, Vietnam, et cetera. And as we all know, some of those folks didn't get welcomed home very well. This is just another way that you could take the opportunity to do that. Again, I understand, and so does everybody else, that everybody has things to do. I'm just saying this simply as a reminder, if you have the ability at 10. And then there's a ceremony, so the route takes you through downtown Davenport. But around 11, there's a ceremony, i.e. to recognize Armistice Day or Veterans Day. It was changed in the 50s, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month to signify the end of World War I. So we have a ceremony if you have the ability to attend that. It is quite moving, and a lot of people attend that. So just wanted to draw that to your attention. Anyone else? Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to our 4 areas of discussion: community development, public safety, public works, and finance. The first one's community development. That'll be discussed by Alderman Grip and Alderman Reiner. It's Alderman Grip, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have 3 items on our agenda this evening. Item number 1 is a first consideration ordinance for case ORD 25-02, being the request of the City of Davenport to amend Title 17 entitled Zoning of the Municipal Code of Davenport, Iowa regarding solar farms as a principal use and freestanding solar panels as an accessory use. Is there anyone from the public who's here to comment on this item? Seeing no one, anyone from the council? Alderwoman McGinnis, were you wanting to comment?
Yes, I was, please.
Okay, I'll go
Thank you.
to, yep, I will go to you.
All right. Yes, I did want to ask, I want to thank the staff. This has been certainly is a long process to go through, and they've worked very diligently over the past, since the moratorium to bring this to us. It is a somewhat confusing thing as well, I think. Having said that, and I appreciate that, I think we have begun to clarify and certainly I am more comfortable with the accessory structures and uses section of this. What I am not comfortable with is the utility scale, allowing with special use permit, essentially, as I understand it, we had a little conversation yesterday at management update meeting, potentially fields of solar, standing alone, not feeding a house, not feeding a business, but standing alone. And one of the concerns I have is and I understand that any areas in the floodplain or in the flood area, the floodway, the special flood hazard area will not, those places cannot have this. But what remains, and I think it's important for the council to see this, is where these could be. And those are in areas zoned I-1, I-2, and in ag. And that would be done with a special use permit. The special use permit goes through planning, it goes through the ZBA, which they do a very good job with their commission and in looking at everything. There is no council input to this. There is no protest rate. There's no people are allowed certainly to comment on this should it come, but there is no rate as with rezoning, where if there is a certain protest rate, then it requires a certain amount of council greater than just a simple majority, things like this. So that's not part of this process with a special use permit. What I am asking for to have next week is a digital map of the city. I think it's going to have to be digital, showing or it's going to have to be very large, but sent to, that the aldermen can all see and certainly available to the public digitally, is where these places are located in the city. Where is I-1, I-2, and Ag located in the city? The areas near closer to water where it's not going to be permitted, hatched out, but where these things are located. I think it's important for everybody to understand in their wards where this could be, come what is there. I have, we've talked a great deal about the redevelopment on the west end and the desire to put a new business park there because we are filled up with what we have now, and how important that is. Well, that area is surrounded by ag, much of it's surrounded by ag. So I'm asking staff to bring us back available for next week, and I know this is going to over a number of cycles, but I would like a map showing these areas marked out. It's very hard if you go online. I mean, you can see where the areas are, but it's hard to get a whole snapshot of the entire city. And I know that's difficult, but perhaps it can be broken out into panels or something like that. And I'm asking if that could happen next week. Could someone from planning let me know if that is possible to have next week?
We're getting a thumbs up here that we'll be looking
Okay.
into that.
All right, so I just wanted to share that concern. I am skeptical about this part of this proposal. So thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Okay. We'll go to Alderman Rick Dunn.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderwoman McGinnis, for bringing that up. I have the same concerns, so I'm looking forward to seeing where these things can actually go. So thank you.
Alderman Kelly.
Thank you. Didn't we ask for that when it originally came about? Because it didn't make sense how it was. I swear to God, I thought someone, or if not myself, asked, what are we looking at as far as the citywide with this standalone solar panel? So I'll be looking forward to see what that looks like as well.
All right. Seeing no one else, I'll have a couple of comments. So the first would be looking at restrictions as far as the special use go. So I guess my question is, and we can discuss this next week if you're, I haven't prepped you to be able to answer it right now, but like what's the criteria when it goes before ZBA of why it could be a special use or why it shouldn't be, what that criteria is. And then secondly, the way I understand it as far as uses go and the state zoning goes is that the way that we can regulate this is we can either allow it or we can, so by right, you could do it in these districts, right? You could say in these districts, I-1, I-2, and Ag, you can do solar, freestanding solar, large arrays, period, and then it's allowed by right, and it goes through no review if it, as far as that goes. Or you can say it's unallowed, and I think there's a question of whether legally we can say that you can't allow this. And so I think we need to kind of know that legal answer, the legal opinion from our staff. And then the third way to do it is through the special use, where you can basically say it's allowed in these three areas, but it's only allowed if you have a special use. I guess my question would be, is there a fourth option that the council isn't aware of? And so I want to make sure that I'm stating that correctly as well. So those are a couple of questions I think if we can get those answers, will help us in our conversation next week. And there's no other comments, so we will move on to item number 2. And we will leave that on discussion. Item number 2 is a resolution extending a moratorium upon new solar farms as a principal use and freestanding solar panels as an accessory use until February 12th, 2026. Is there anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Anyone from the council? Alderwoman Newton.
Thank you. I would just ask that this item also be placed on discussion. That way, in light of how our conversation goes with the first item, there may be reason to change or amend that date depending on what our discussion is.
Good. Noted. And seeing no one else, that item will move on to discussion. And item number 3 is a motion approving the local objectives for the Community Development Block Grant Program for the year 52 annual action plan covering July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027. Is there anyone from the public who's here to comment on this item? Anyone from the council? This item moves on. Alderman Reinhardt, will you please set our agenda?
Thank you. I make a motion to place item number 3 on the consent agenda and items number 1 and 2 to remain open for discussion.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, our agenda has been set, and back to you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Griffin and Alderman Reinhardt. Next area is public safety. Alderman Jobson and Alderman Tim Dunn will discuss. Alderman Jobson, please.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. First item under the public safety agenda is a third consideration ordinance amending Schedule 11, resident parking only of Chapter 10.96 entitled Schedules of the Municipal Code of Davenport, Iowa by adding Fillmore Street along both sides from West Lombard Street to 190 feet south. Is there anyone from public wishing to comment on this item? Seeing none. Anyone from council? Seeing none, that item move on. Item number 2, second consideration ordinance amending Schedule 7, no parking of Chapter 10.96 entitled Schedules of Municipal Code of Davenport, Iowa by adding Mississippi Avenue along the east side from Kimberly Road to 39th Street. Is there anyone from public wishing to comment on this item? Seeing none. Anyone from council? Seeing none, that item move on. Item number 3, second consideration ordinance amending Schedule 7, no parking of Chapter 10.96 entitled Schedules of Municipal Code of Davenport, Iowa by adding West High Street along the south side from Gaines Street to Brown Street. Is there anyone from public wishing to comment on this item? Seeing none. Anyone from council? Seeing none, that item move on. Item number 4, motion approving a noise variance request on listed dates and times for an outdoor event. We have German American Heritage Center and Museum, Chris Kindle Market, 712 West 2nd Street, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, December 13th, 2025, or Sunday, December 14th, 2025 as an alternate date. Outdoor music over 50 dBA. Is there anyone from public wishing to comment on this item? Seeing none. Anyone from council? Seeing none, that item move on. Then we have item number 5, motion approving beer and liquor license applications. I'll read those under Section A, new license, new owner, temporary permit, temporary outdoor area location transfer, etc. First, SNS Mart, 1715 West Kimberly Road, license upgrade, license type Class E liquor carryout. Notice of Class E retail alcohol license application within 200 feet with letters mailed on 10/30 of 2025. Next, German American Heritage Center and Museum, 712 West 2nd Street, temporary outdoor area, December 12th, license type special Class C beer/wine on premises. Next, the Eddy, 1019 Mount Street, new license/owners, license type Class C liquor on premises. And then we have Wide River Winery, 1128 Mount Street, temporary license with outdoor area, December 5th and 6th, license type special Class C beer/wine on premises. There are then those items under Section B, the annual licenses renewals, which I will not read, but are there for your review. Is there anyone from public wishing to comment on any of these items? Seeing none, anyone from council? Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for allowing me. Concerning annual, don't need it now, but Police Chief, if you could just provide the council chill vibes on Myrtle Street, just an update on calls or what's the situation this year with that. Thank you for allowing me to talk.
And with that, I would ask Alderman Tim Dunn to please set our agenda.
I'll make a motion to put all items of public safety on the consent agenda. Thank you.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That closes public safety. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Joseph and Alderman Tim Dunn. Next area is Public Works. Alderman Rick Dunn and Alderman Kelly will discuss. Alderman Rick Dunn, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item number 1 is a resolution accepting work completed on the 2025 sidewalk and ADA ramp program by Feldman Concrete of Dyersville, Iowa, in the amount of $306,974.34. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Sure. Step forward, please.
Randy Fitzwater. I was just wondering, was this Feldman Concrete related to the Feld fire where they were want to purchase a up to $1.8 million hazmat vehicle or whatever? Oh, you can't? Okay, that's right, no one can respond. That's all, I'm just curious.
Council. Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 2 is a resolution accepting work completed under the FY 2026 Iowa DOT Full Depth Patch Program by AmeriCorps LLC of Muscatine, Iowa, in the amount of $148,238.10. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council. Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 3 is a resolution accepting work completed under the CY 2025 Contract Milling Program by Manats Incorporated of Comanche, Iowa, in the amount of $85,714.93. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council. Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 4 is a resolution approving the plan, specification, form of contract, and estimated cost for the Modern Woodland Park Levee Repair Project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council. I would ask, I know this is just a plan spec and form of contract, but before we bring this back to award any type of project or money, I would like to sit down and have a discussion of where the money's coming from, what funds are coming from, and look at, you know, what's left in the funds at Modern Woodland. So with that, we'll move on. Item number 5 is a resolution approving the plan, specification, form of contract, and estimated cost for Annie Whitmire Complex Utilities Relocation Junior Theater Project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing that, this item will move on. Item number 6 is a resolution approving the purchase of one solid waste truck from LAD Equipment of Davenport, Iowa, in the amount of $357,475 using Sourcewell contract 091219. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council. Seeing none, this item will move on. And item number 7 is a motion approving the purchase of one Bobcat UW56 tool cat utility work machine and angle broom attachment from Rexco Equipment of Davenport, Iowa, in the amount of $69,780.44 using NASPO Value Point contract number OKSW192-300. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council. Seeing none, this item will move on. And Alderman Kelly, would you set the agenda for us?
Gladly, I'd like to make a motion to move all 7 items of the consent agenda.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same
Aye.
sign. Any opposed, same sign. The agenda is set. Back to you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Rick Dunn and Alderman Kelly. The next item is Areas Finance. Alderwoman Newton and Alderman Lynch will discuss. Alderwoman Newton, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight, Alderwoman Lynch and I have 6 items on our agenda. Item number 1, first consideration, ordinance amending Chapter 6.04 entitled Animals of the Municipal Code of Davenport, Iowa to incorporate community cat recommendations from the Joint Task Force between the Humane Society of Scott County and the City of Davenport. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Anyone from council? Alderman Grip?
Thank you. I just wanted to thank Ms. Gunn for the presentation yesterday. It was very interesting to kind of understand how we can better control the population of stray cats. Interesting enough, I think it's good to recognize people. Alderwoman Dickman, about 9 years ago, had wanted to bring forward an ordinance similar to this, and there just wasn't the support at the time to do it. So it's good now to hear it coming from you all that this is something that can actually, it does work in other communities and it can work here, and hopefully we'll see a decrease in that stray cat population within a few years once we enact this. So thank you.
Is there anyone else from council? Seeing none, item number 1 moves on. Item number 2, first consideration, ordinance amending Chapter 12.72 entitled Conduct in Public Parks of the Municipal Code of Davenport, Iowa to update language and requirements outlined in the Iowa State Code, Chapter 724.28. Anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Anyone from council? Seeing none, item number 2 moves on. Item number 3, resolution approving the purchase of 2018 North Ohio Avenue for $137,290 and 2024 North Ohio Avenue for $152,980 as part of the North Ohio Avenue flash flood mitigation project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing no one, item number 3 moves on. Item number 4, resolution approving the payment of $191,947.41 to Tyler Technologies, Inc. of Plano, Texas, in the annual licensing, for the annual licensing and support of the Munis software system. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Is there anyone from council? Seeing none, item number 4 moves on. Item number 5, resolution approving the Small Community-Oriented Renewal and Enhancement SCORE program and authorizing the city administrator to administer and execute program purchases. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Is there anyone from council? Seeing none, item number 5 moves on. And last but not least, item number 6, motion approving the purchase of burn room insulation materials for live fire training facility refurbishment project from Fire Facilities, Inc. of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, in the amount of $74,757. CIP number 23105. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Is there anyone from council? Seeing none, item 6 moves on, and with that, I ask Alderwoman Lynch to please set our agenda.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion placing items number 1 through 6 on the consent agenda.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
And with that, our agenda is set, and I yield the floor back to you, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderwoman Newton and Alderwoman Lynch. Next area, are there any ordinances, resolutions, motions? We have none tonight. The next area, is there any public business? And if there are, please come to the podium, remember the rules, and you'll have 5 minutes. Thank you. Please.
Hello. First time I've been able to say this in a while. Yesterday, for the first time in 9 years, I voted as a citizen of the city of Davenport. This past Friday, I moved back to Davenport, Iowa from Bettendorf, where I lived almost 8 years of my life. One of the things that I've kind of noticed driving multiple times doing work with my brother in the east end of Davenport is the neglect to the brick streets. They're in the 5th Ward area, and they're in pretty rough shape, a lot of them. It would be nice to see the city do something to fix those, make those more level for vehicles that are traveling on that, so it don't damage components on vehicles because of, how poorly they have been maintained. Either that or turn them into paved areas. I know how Davenport's done what they could over the decades to try to maintain some brick streets, but in doing so, they should be properly maintained every, couple of years, because obviously between Kirkwood Boulevard and 15th on Iowa is one of the areas. You go down on a street going down, I think it's right over by College. There's a brick street that goes down, going down toward 9th Street, and even 9th Street over there near Mississippi and College area is pretty rough driving. You can really mess up your suspension on your vehicle and other components. So that's something I'd like to see the city over the next council work on. I would like to, coming back, say thank you to those that will no longer be on the council for their service, because, we could sit here in the public and, have our opinion and views toward anybody up here on the council, but it's different when you're sitting on that side. Mike Mattson, let's look at you. You've served multiple years as the
Trying
alderman
to
and
address the
mayor.
council as a
And-
body, please.
And I would like to thank you for your service. I'm doing it as a body, but I'm saying thank you for your service, both in military, I believe it was military, and on the city council. I don't know who, Mr. Kelly, Mrs. McGinnis, I'd like to thank them for their service on the city council. Don't know who else is not going to be on the council, but I'm looking forward to seeing the ones that are here, again, under the next council that comes in January. But I want to say thank you to those that will no longer be here, because I don't know if I'll be at any other meetings this year, but if I am, great, but I wanted to get that out of the way myself personally, so thank you for your service.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, any comments from council? Okay, please.
Randy again, Fifth Ward. I just had a couple comments about a couple of things. About the Veterans Parade that's coming up. I'll tell you what, it doesn't appear that veteran status really matters much to this country anymore. I say that because at 64 years old next month, I'm the youngest guy in the veterans organizations that I belong to, right? Most of them are in their 70s and 80s. We haven't had a young veteran below the age of 50 join in how long, I couldn't tell you how long. I also wonder, why would you be having the Veterans Parade during the week instead of on the weekend when a lot of more people could attend? Just something to consider. It just seems like another, just going through the motions to have a parade. Another thing I had, well, I've always given credit where credit is due. One time at the VA up in Iowa City, I had a guy, the patient advocate, help me with a problem. 2 years later, I was walking down the hallway and I just happened to look up and we made eye contact and he said, I remember you. He said, you were the only veteran ever that since I've been here, who has ever written a thank you letter to us. I said, well, you helped me with what I was doing and I really appreciated it. Not many veterans are thankful for the care that they get. I had, based on Mr. Gleason, I don't know, are you the new interim administrator? You're not the permanent. Okay, but what you were talking about, efficient, transparent, whatever, and then Alderman Jobgen, you were mentioning something about having grace. I had a card here. Like I said, I like to give credit where credit's due. It was actually, I'm not going to read it because it wasn't very graceful, but I think it was pretty truthful about the way I feel and a lot of people feel. Finally, I wanted to talk about, again, the Public Works Department and your code enforcement for whatever they consider is not proper maintenance of the property. For the second time in 2 weeks, I had the city show up a week ago today. They showed up the previous Monday, and like I told you, they mowed the wrong property. Our property doesn't have any grass. It's all garden and all native plants. On the affidavit for the search warrant, or the administrative search warrant, when they brought the two people from Public Works, the police officer and then the two contractors, one of whom had a tattooed teardrop below his left eye. When I talked with two Scott County magistrates about that, when I showed them the administrative search warrant, they sure as heck didn't have a very high opinion of either the warrant or the guy who had the teardrop tattooed below his left eye. The affidavit itself for the search warrant said I tried to block the guy that came on the Monday. All I did is ask him who he was, and he told me if he didn't have to identify himself. I asked, he pointed to the truck, and there was a little, about 6x8 identification thing, and I wrote down the license plate number. He started screaming, like I told you guys, I think it was 2 weeks ago, back away from the vehicle, back away from the vehicle. So, I don't know, it's just a problem. I wanted to also point out that on the yard work that I'm doing, I gave away great big garden bags full yesterday and today, right before I came here, of garden produce. Now my stuff is dying off because it's gonna be freezing here apparently in a few more days. And if you recall, or go back a little bit, and when the Public Works got on me, they said, I asked them, I said, you guys always said that you only respond to complaints, trying to push off responsibility onto everybody else, not to themselves. And they say yes or no, depending on who you're talking to. There's no uniformity, right? There's no uniformity. Hang it up. It's a 50-50 what the heck they're doing out there at Public Works. But I'm doing yard work now. I'm cleaning up my garden. It's now free drop-off down at the compost facility. If you remember back in September when I got this notice after apparently 5 months from the Public Works out there and the code enforcement, can anybody remember back in September when it was unseasonably hot? It was near record-setting heat for a month and we didn't have any stinking rain. That was when the code enforcement was going around nailing me and I don't know how many other people. Just to consider.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Any comments from council? Alderman Rick Dunn?
Just to be clear, the Veterans Parade is run by the Veterans Organization and not the city of Davenport, and they're the ones that pick the day of the parade, so just want to make that clear. Thank you.
Alderwoman Burkholder?
Thank you. That ceremony at the end of the parade is held in the courthouse parking lot at 11 a.m.
Thank you. Anyone else? And I'll add, it's been a history to do it on Veterans Day. Previously, we didn't have the day off for the schools or the city, and we got that in. So that's the schools, the city, the veterans organizations all came together to agree to do it on Veterans Day and to have the day off, and that's why it's a tradition here. Anybody else? All right. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Have a great weekend. Go Hawks.